Hey, how y'all doing out there? I'm back with you with another video. Today I want to talk about Samsung has lost their way. Now there's some out there that's going to disagree with what I'm about to say, and that's fine. You're entitled to your opinion and how you feel about things and how these changes are happening to these devices. But I'm deeply disturbed, and right now I'm just out on Samsung because I think one of the reasons why I fell in love with the company, and maybe you shouldn't fall in love with a particular company, but I just like the way they were doing things. They gave you so much. They gave you a bunch of stuff in the box. They gave you a bunch of features. They gave you a great display, great battery. Like they were well ahead of the curve. The only thing that was holding them back to me was just they were having issues with the software, with the lag. But they kept getting better and better and better, and they just kept adding more features to their phones as opposed to taking stuff off. But now things are just getting worse. Like it's already bad they removed some things in the past, but now they went to not only removing things off the device, now they're removing everything out of the box and still charging you close to $1,000 for a device, which deeply disturbs me and I don't like it. This may sound like a rant, but it's not going to be a rant where I'm super loud and going off. No, I'm just going to talk to y'all. Now, like I said, there's some people that's going to agree with things I'm saying, some people that won't. But, I mean, to each his own. All right? Now, what I got on this table is basically all the notes that I own. The only one that's not on here is the Note 10 Plus, and that's because that's what I'm shooting this video with. But I've pretty much owned every single note that's ever been made. The only one that I own that's not on this table is the Note 3. I didn't have the Note 1 or the Note 2, but I've had from the Note 3 up until the Note 10 Plus. Now, I'm not really interested in the Note 20 Ultra. I might only get that device if they don't make any more notes. Like if there's not a Note 21, then I might just get the Note 20 and that'll be my last note. But other than that, I've had pretty much all the notes. But let me just tell you about the changes and the things that have been removed from these various devices. And I'll try to make this quick as I can, y'all. All right, now my first device was the S4, which is not here, but the reason why I loved it was the size of the size and the quality of the display, Super AMOLED display, and it had expandable memory, removable battery, headphones, charger, headphone jack, and a lot of software features. So I love that phone. Now with the Note 4, this was my Note that I fell in love with, and I loved it a lot. But unfortunately, for those of you that remember, if you've had the Note 4, you remember that when that phone got Android Lollipop, it absolutely destroyed the battery on that phone. Because prior to Lollipop, I was easily getting 2 days of heavy usage with the Note 4. But as soon as that Lollipop Android update came, it just totally destroyed the battery of that phone. It just did. All right. Excuse me. Now, in my opinion, the Note 4 had everything. You got expandable memory, removable battery. Do y'all remember the removable battery days? You could just take a battery out, put another battery in. I love that. I hate it when they took that away because that is the fastest way to charge your device. 0 to 100 in seconds. Just take out a battery, put in a new battery. But of course, people kept complaining, oh, Samsung, these plastic bags, and the build quality's not that good, blah, blah, blah. And then they took away the option to take out your battery. Then they started complaining that they didn't have that no more. You can't have it both ways. Don't keep complaining about the build quality. Then they changed the glass back. Now you complain because now they took away the removable battery. Like it just goes to show you just can't please some people sometimes. But I didn't have an issue with the back of the phone being pleather or plastic or whatever they made it because I loved that removable battery option. I loved it. But to each his own. So you had expandable memory, removable battery, you had a headphone jack, fingerprint scanner, heart rate monitor, IR blaster. However, no wireless charging at this particular time. And you had an okay sounding speaker, except they put the speaker on the back of the phone, which was terrible speaker placement, which is right here. It's on the back of the phone. Thought that was stupid. And it also had 3 microphones, 2 at the bottom, 1 on the top. And when you recorded anything, like people's voices or things, the mics picked up extremely well. So that was impressive. Now, with the Note Edge, which is right here, That was $1,000 device. When it was released, it was very unique because you had this edge display. If you can see how it's curved, but it was only curved on one side of the device. Now this device was a little wider than the Note 4, but it was pretty much a Note 4 with just an edge display, and I like this. Now I paid close to $1,000 for this phone when it first came out. It was so unique. My only issues with this phone is they put a smaller battery in it. It was 3,000 milliamps as opposed to the 3,200 milliamps in the Note 4, which I just didn't understand that. And the they put a smaller battery. They put a weaker speaker on the back of it, which was worse than the Note 4. I don't understand that. And the display brightness was really disappointing. It did not get nowhere near as bright as the Note 4. So I don't understand that. I was okay with it being a curved display, and it had all the internals of everything that the Note 4 had. It was exactly the same, except why would you put a smaller battery in there, a dimmer display, and a weaker speaker? And you charged $1,000 for that device. So that was definitely disappointing on that device. Now, let's talk about the Note 5. This is when things really started changing, okay? So the display, first of all, was not as wide as the Note 4. It was a little smaller. No removable battery. Now they sealed the battery in, gave you a glass back phone, and you got a smaller battery, okay? No Snapdragon variant, only Exynos, and no IR blaster. So this is what they started removing, okay? Now, remember this too now, with the Note 5, you got no SD card, no expandable memory, okay? I'm going to say it again. No expandable memory, no removable battery, no Snapdragon variant, smaller battery, no IR blaster. So those are the things that they changed when it came to the Note 5. Now, however, the things they added was the LED notification sensor, which is good. They gave us wireless charging, a glass back, and they improved the fingerprint sensor, and they added Samsung Pay. So that was okay, but still, the removal of the SD card was a major issue, and because people complained so much, Samsung put it back on the Note 7 when it came out. So that was a major issue, and I think they're gonna have to put the SD card back on the newer S lines, or I don't know if they're gonna take it off the Note 2, but I think they're gonna have to put that back because so many people are gonna be enraged, and so many people is like that's a make it or break it feature for them. So when people don't buy these devices, Samsung ain't gonna have no choice but to put it back on there because people are not gonna buy it. They want their expandable memory, especially when you're only putting 128 gigs on the device to start with. Now, if you're going to take away the SD card, at least make the phone 512 gig capable and then make the biggest one a terabyte, then I don't think they'll be so mad. But the fact that 128 and then no SD card, and then I have to spend more money for 256 than 512, no. Ain't nobody trying to feel that. No way. Now, with the Note 7, you got pretty much everything. Of course, you're going to be missing some things, but not yet. So they added the iris sensor, which I absolutely love. You can open up the phone with your eyes. They gave you a bigger battery. They gave you an always-on display. They added IP68 water and dust resistance. They gave you improved fingerprint sensor, face unlock. Expandable memory was put back on it, okay? But they took away, they didn't bring back the IR blaster. Say with the Note 4, with the Note 5, there was no IR blaster. They took that away, and they didn't bring that back. So that's the one thing they didn't bring back. But think about all the stuff that they did add, which was very impressive. Okay, I'll say it again. They gave you an iris sensor. They gave you wireless charge. Well, wireless charging was on the Note 5, actually. So they added iris sensor, bigger battery, always on display, IP68 water and dust resistance, improved fingerprint sensor, face unlock, put back the expandable memory, and they give you even better build quality and a brighter display. So they was doing good. Obviously, they still didn't bring back the IR blaster, which was unfortunate, okay? And unfortunately for that device, there was a battery issue, and they had to scrap the whole thing. Now, what I have here is the Note 7 Fan Edition, which is right here. Okay. Now with the Note 8, which is right here, you had a taller device. This was the tallest Note that they ever made. Okay. And it was narrow. Now, that's the thing I didn't like about it. You know, the Note was always known for being a wide, square, boxy shaped type of device, which you can see pretty much with all of these. But you can see how this is more narrow than all the rest of these devices if you really, can tell. Okay, I didn't like that. I didn't like the the height of it didn't bother me. I didn't like how narrow it was, and the camera placement was really bad. Putting the camera, the fingerprint sensor right next to the camera, that was a bad move by Samsung. That was not good. However, all the features and things that the Note 7 had, they put it in the Note 8. So they didn't remove anything. The only thing they didn't put back was the IR blaster. That's still missing, okay? Now, with the Note 9, which is most people that love Notes, this is probably the number one Note that Samsung has ever made in most people's hearts, is the Note 9. Now, for me, it's the most complete Note, not the best. Now, when I say complete, I mean you got everything. There was no compromise on this phone. The only thing it was missing is a wide-angle lens and the IR blaster. That's it for me. That's it. IR blaster and the wide-angle lens. Okay? Other than that, this phone had everything. Okay? Everything. Had no issues with it at all. All right? Love this device, and a lot of people out there still love this device. This is the most watched video that I have out of all the videos I've done. Almost 12,000 views on this device. That's how much people love the Note 9. Samsung did an excellent job, and it's a shame that they won't even give this one more software update like Android 11 and One UI 3.0. That would really be nice, because this was their best Note they ever made as far as complete. Now with my Note 10 Plus, it's actually a better overall device. It's just missing some things, but just the way it performs and the cameras and the speaker and all that, it's a better device in my opinion. But this was the most complete. So the Note 9, to me, was the pinnacle of the Note line with no compromises. Like I said, the only thing that was missing was a wide angle and IR blaster. Now with the Note 10, you started seeing major changes. What I mean by that, they started removing things off the device. Number one, no headphone jack. Did not like that because it was on the S10, and usually whatever they do on the S series, they do on the Note series. If not, they give you a little bit more on the Note. The Note was always the big boy, the phone that got everything, and the phone that had everything. But for some reason, they gave the S10 line a headphone jack, but didn't give the Note 10 a headphone jack, which I didn't understand. But let me run down the list for you. So no headphone jack, no iris sensor, which was on the Note 9, no LED notification sensor, which was on the Note 9, no heart rate monitor, which was on the Note 9, and the power button was moved to the left side of the device. That was probably the worst decision they ever made, is to put the power button on the left. Now that was just dumb. Now of course with the Note 20 they put it back on the right where it belongs, but that was just a dumb move by Samsung. Also, now let's talk about, now that's all the changes just with the Note 10 Plus. These are all the things that they took away from that device. Okay? Now, for some people, they don't care. I care about all those things. The iris sensor was so convenient because you can open up the phone with your eyes. It was very secure. You can use Samsung Pay with it. And especially, you know how convenient that would have been now to have that with this pandemic and everybody having to wear a mask. Just take out your phone, look at it. You don't even have to use the fingerprint sensor. You don't have to worry about using face unlock. It just opens up. So I definitely missed the iris sensor. I would have been fine with a thin forehead to fit those sensors underneath it. I'd have been cool with that. It don't have to be no bezels at the top for me. If I could still have those features and things, I would have preferred to have those. It just with a thinner bezel, just make the sensor smaller and put it right under a thin bezel. I'd have been cool with that. So you lost that. So no headphone jack, no iris sensor, no LED notification sensor, which a lot of people miss. It tells you when you got a notification, also when your battery was fully charged, it give you a green light. No heart rate monitor, which people probably don't care about because they don't even talk about it, but I do because I used it. It checked your oxygen level, your stress level, your heartbeat. Like I used it quite frequently, the heart rate monitor. And then of course, like I said, putting the power button on the left side and like that. Now with the Note 10, now this was the first time Samsung actually made two Note phones. It was always just one Note phone for everybody. Now, originally I just didn't like this idea at all, but I thought about it. I'm like, well, cool. There are some people that like the Note line, but the Note itself is just too big. Some people don't like. There's people out there that don't like big phones. So I'm thinking, okay, so they're gonna make two Notes, then whatever the big Note has, the little Note gonna have everything too. It's just gonna be a little smaller. At least that's the way I'm having it in my mind. The way I think it's gonna be. So, but of course that wasn't the case. So you got a 6.3-inch Note, which was considerably smaller than the Note 10 Plus, because the Note 10 Plus was 6.8 inches. So you had 6.3. Now, the thing about it, they gave you no Quad HD Plus display, which I thought was ridiculous because this phone, the Note 10 when it was released, was $950. So basically $1,000 device with no Quad HD display. Okay, you got no expandable memory, you got no headphone jack, no iris sensor, no LED notification sensor, no heart rate monitor, and only 8 gigs of RAM, not 12 gigs like the Note 10 Plus. Think about that. Think about that. All that stuff you lost just because you wanted a smaller Note. Now, in my opinion, whatever the big Note had, the little Note should have had too. It's a smaller device. Why take features off that device and you still want to charge $1,000 for it? That's dumb, Samsung. That's just stupid. Now, if they just did that to force everybody to buy the more expensive device, then they achieved that, because wasn't a lot of people going to buy that smaller Note. They just wasn't going to do that. Okay. Now, let's talk about the Note 20 real quick. So, with the Note 20, now check this out. Not the Note 20 Ultra, just the Note 20. You got no Quad HD Plus display. Now you got no glass back. Now you get carbonate or plastic. I'll just say plastic because that's what it is. Plastic back. No expandable memory. Only 8 gigs of RAM. Only 128 gigs of internal storage, unlike the Note 10 that got 256 gigs of internal memory. So now they're giving you even less internal memory on top of the fact that they took away expandable memory. Okay? Only 8 gigs of RAM. They gave you no headphones in the box. No 120 hertz refresh rate. No laser autofocus on the rear camera. No 50 times zoom like that of the Note 20 Ultra. A dimmer display than the Note 20 Ultra. No headphone jack, no iris sensor, no IR blaster, no LED notification sensor, and no heart rate monitor. These are all the things that you don't get on the Note 20. And that phone, when it was released, it was I believe it was $1,000 too. $1,000. Think about that, y'all. $1,000. All that stuff you don't even get on it. I'll say it again. Everything that the Note 20 Ultra got, the Note 20 should have gotten too. It's just a smaller device. Okay? Especially when you're paying that kind of money. Now, let's talk about the Note 20 Ultra real quick. So, first, this is when they started tripping though. Okay? They really started tripping. No headphones. No charger in the box. And it doesn't even have 45 watt capabilities like that of the Note 10 Plus, which can charge 45 watts. And I can tell the difference. It does charge faster, okay? All right. Only 128 gigs of internal storage, which is ridiculous because that phone can shoot in 8K. But you're only getting 128 gigs of internal storage. Now, if you want more, you're going to have to pay more money, of course. But the Note 10 Plus came with 256 gigs. So once again, Samsung taking a step back. Okay, instead of 256, they're giving you only 128. No faster wireless charging, so that didn't even improve at all. No faster wired charging, that didn't improve at all. And slower reverse wireless charging. So instead of getting 9 watt of reverse wireless charging, now you're getting 4.5 watts. So the reverse wireless charging got even slower. Now y'all help me figure that one out. Okay, I'm sorry. No, the Note 20 is still the same reverse wireless charging. Sorry, that was a different device I'm getting ready to talk about. So, but they didn't make improvements with the wired charging, the reverse wireless charging, and the wireless charging. They made no improvements at all, but they charge you $1,300 for that device. Now, look at the things that they took out with this one too. You got no S Pen replacement tips. Okay, no S Pen, no S Pen replacement tips, which you always got. No Quad HD Plus at 120 hertz. Keep in mind this is for a $1,300 device. No 5,000 milliamp battery like the S20 Ultra has. Now, the Note has always had the biggest battery out of all the Samsung devices. I don't know why in the world they gave the S20 Ultra a 5,000 milliamp battery and only gave the Note 20 Ultra a 4,500 milliamp battery. Doesn't make any sense at all. If anything, it should have got a 5,000 or 5,100 milliamp battery. It should have been bigger, definitely, than that of the S series, okay? Then they put the S Pen on the left side of the device, which they never done before, and they put the speaker on the left side of the bottom of the device, like they never did before. So I don't know what they're doing. It seemed like they're just doing things to piss people off, in my opinion. Now, also, no headphone jack, no IR blaster, no LED notification sensor, no heart rate monitor, and no iris sensor. This is what I'm talking about, the Note 20, quote unquote Ultra. Okay? Only thing that was ultra about this phone to me is the size of the device and the cameras. And that seemed like the only thing that Samsung seemed to care about nowadays is the camera. Now, I don't have a problem wanting a nice camera, but there are phones that are considerably cheaper that have really good cameras as well. They don't have to be pro capable cameras. They don't have to be that, because I got a V30 that takes the pictures and video on that phone are phenomenal, and you can get that phone for probably like $100. So if you want a really good camera, you don't have to spend $1,400 for one. You don't. And it seemed like they want to charge people up the wazoo because of the camera and the aesthetics. Now, I'm going to tell you, Samsung makes some great phones aesthetically. They make some probably the most beautiful phones on the market. But I'm not paying $1,400 for aesthetics, and I got to have like a professional grade camera. No, I just need a camera that's going to take decent photos and during the day, during the night, and good video quality. I don't need for it to be like the only thing that you're focusing on while you keep taking other things away and trying to justify it. No, I'm not feeling that. Now let's talk real quickly about the Galaxy Fold, because I had that for a minute. I reviewed that last year. That came with 512 gigs of internal memory. It came with a pair of wireless earbuds and a case. $2,000. Now that price is definitely ridiculous, but it was very innovative. It was the first folding phone that Samsung ever made. So I kind of understood it to a certain point, but $2,000 is just too much. But at least they gave, and keep in mind, it was $2,000, but no IP68 water and dust resistance, no expandable memory, no wireless charging, no super fast charging. $2,000, okay? But they did give you a half a terabyte of internal storage. They gave you a pair of wireless earbuds and a case, which I thought was pretty good. Okay. Now with the Galaxy Fold 2, now that's the big boy on the block now. They definitely improved the hinge on that, which is much better, and they gave you all screen on the front display, unlike the Galaxy Fold, which had a smaller screen on the front, which didn't really bother me that much. I mean, it could have been bigger, but I mean, it was their first try, so I give them a pass on that. But those are the only two things they really improved on that phone, honestly, and they gave it 120 hertz. With the new one, you got 120 hertz. Excuse me, 120 hertz. You got a bigger display on the front. You got a better hinge, and of course, you got the little punch hole when you open it up, so you didn't have that bezel like you had on the first one. That's pretty much it. Okay, they didn't add wireless charging. They didn't give you IP68 water and dust resistance. They gave you no expandable memory. And check this out. So instead of giving you 512 like they did the previous device, they cut that in half and gave you 256. Which make no sense to me. Why would you give me less storage? You're still not giving me expandable memory, but then now you cut down my memory that you gave me in the first iteration. Instead of 512, now you're giving me 256, which makes no sense. No wireless earbuds in the box, no headphones at all. Of course, you're not getting a headphone jack, you're not getting a dongle. And check this out. No case in the box. No case. No headphones. Less storage. Same price, $2,000. No IP68 1 dust resistance, no expandable memory, no wireless charging. $2,000. Same price, but they took things away. Gave you less. Does that make sense to y'all? I know it don't to me. Now let's look at this S21 real quick. So you're getting a plastic back. Now, like I said, there's some people that's gonna like the plastic back because they don't want to worry about shattering their back. But you gotta think about this. This is an $800 device, and 70 to 80% of people, I'll say 70 to 85% of most people use cases. Okay, you do have some people that don't, but think about that price. Okay, $800 plus tax. So you're looking at basically $900. So you're getting a plastic bag. You're not getting no Quad HD Plus display like you did on the previous S20. You're getting no headphones in the box. You're getting no expandable memory. You're getting no fast charging. No fast charger in the box. You're getting no headphone jack, no iris sensor, no LED notification sensor, no IR blaster, no heart rate monitor, and now no MST with Samsung Pay, meaning you could basically use your Samsung Pay on older terminals when you go to checkout. Because some people haven't upgraded yet to the latest technology, but with the Samsung Pay, it didn't matter. You could use it at any terminal, even the older ones. The older credit card terminals, you could use them. But now, because they removed the MST technology, now you can't do that. So I don't get it. I just don't get it. Look, all that stuff I just told you that is not on that device. $900. Okay. Now the same things that are missing on the S20, S21 Plus. Okay, the same things that are missing. Same thing that are missing are on the S21 Plus. So basically, what's missing on the S20 are missing on the S21 Plus, except the S21 Plus has a glass back. Other than that, everything else is the same. So all the things that are missing on the S21 are missing on the S21 Plus. So with the S21 Ultra, which is their big device, now you got here no expandable memory, also no fast charging in the box, no fast charger in the box, no headphones, no headphone jack, no 45-watt charging like the S20 Ultra had, no increase in battery size, no faster wireless charging, slower reverse wireless charging at 4.5, not 9 watts like on the S20 Ultra, no LED notification sensor, no iris sensor, no heart rate monitor, no MST for Samsung Pay, and only 128 gigs of internal storage starting, unless you have to spend more money to get 256 or 512. So I'm gonna tell y'all right now, I don't know what Samsung is doing. I feel like they lost their way. I feel like they're just trying to rip off the consumer now, as opposed to trying to make the consumer happy and give them a lot of bang for their buck, give them value. I believe they've lost their values, and I'm just done with Samsung as far as their newer devices are concerned, because I don't feel like you're getting value. And it's a shame that a lot of YouTubers are not really, making this an issue, because it is an issue. Like, expandable memory does matter, and it matters to a lot of people, and a lot of people that's a no-go for them. That's a deal breaker for them. They just not gonna purchase it. Now you're taking away Quad HD, you're taking away the glass back. You're taking away too many things. Now we can't have a charger because, quote unquote, you're trying to save the environment, which is total nonsense. Every phone should come with a charger. You took away the headphones, which you're always giving us. You took away the tips. You're basically not giving us anything in the box anymore. So Samsung, in my opinion, has lost their way. I'm out on them unless they can go back to giving people value for their money. You don't take away features, you add features. I don't have a problem with paying a little bit more money if you keep adding and adding and you're not taking away stuff. But this is just too much. When they took away the headphones, I was already pretty much upset about that. But then when they took the charger out of the box after they teased, first of all, they teased Apple and ridiculed Apple about the headphone jack. Then they turned around and did the same thing. They ridiculed Apple about the charger. Then they turn around and do the same thing. To me, they basically turn into Apple. And I'm just not into Apple like that. I'm just not. Now, Apple's not a bad company, but I'm just not into Apple like that. I was always a big Samsung fan. I've always really enjoyed the devices. And I still enjoy all these devices. Now, of course, my baby is the one that I'm, reviewing. But this will be number 2, definitely. But I'm just done. I can't. I just can't anymore because that's ridiculous. Too much. You've taken away too much, and I've had enough. So, thank you guys for taking the time to view this content. I do appreciate it. I hope you understand where I'm coming from, because especially with so many people out of work, so many people are struggling. We're in a pandemic, and you're gonna do this, Samsung? Like it makes no sense. It's like you're oblivious to what's going on in the world, and I don't think this is right. So I'm just done. I'll enjoy the stuff that I have here. I got another year of software updates I'm going to get on my Note 10 Plus, and I got the S20 Ultra, which I absolutely love. I mean, I love that device. So I got 2 more major updates coming on that device. So I'm cool. I'm good. So thank you guys for taking the time. A special shout out to all my subscribers. I do appreciate you. Once again, I'll say again, once I reach 1,000 subscribers, I will be giving away one of my smart devices, my smartphones. And I won't let you know what that is until we get close to that amount. So once we get to 1,000 subscribers, I will be giving away one of my smart devices. Okay? So I hope everybody's being good out there and staying safe. And I'll check you guys out in the next one. Peace.